Unit 1, Section 1.2, Part 3. And here we are going to look at multiplying and dividing fractions. And the best way is really to explain by using examples. So for multiply, I'm going to do some examples. So imagine I had 11 over 4 multiplied by 1 over 2. Your multiplying rule simply says top times top, bottom times bottom. So 11 times 1 equals 11. 4 times 2 equals 8. Sometimes we can do some simplification before we do the multiplying. So in this case, I can say, oh, wait a minute, 2 can go into itself once. I've suddenly lost the color in my pen. There we go. There's my 2 can go into itself once, and it can go into 14 7 times. Now I do top times top over bottom times bottom. Right. So basically, if you have to times fractions, you do numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator. But first, look if you can cancel. If you can cancel any top with any bottom. Remember, this only works with numbers. Once we get to algebra and there are separate terms, we're going to change the rules slightly, but this is your basic rule. Before we do dividing, I'm going to teach you a new word, reciprocal. It basically means flip it over. And again, I'm going to explain by doing a few examples. So let's say I'm going to do a little table. So if my number is 2 over 7, the reciprocal will be 7 over 2. If my number is 1 over 3, the reciprocal would be 3 over 1, which really is just 3. If my number is just a 5, then I have to realize it means 5 over 1, so that I can find the reciprocal, which is 1 over 5. So for dividing, I'm also going to use examples. When we have, for instance, half divide by a third, what you do is the first number you don't change. Then you change the divide into a multiply and you put the reciprocal of the last number. Now you follow your multiply rules. 1 times 3 is 3 over 2 times 1 is 2. Right, another example, 4 over 7 divided by 1 over 7. Hold the 4 over 7, change the divide, and flip over the 1 over 7. Now you got times, but here we can see we can cancel. Remember, they don't cancel to zeros. You say 7 divides into itself once, so they cancel to ones. Now you do top times top. 4 times 1 is 4, over 1 times 1 is 1. And that answer is then really just 4, because 4 over 1 is just 4. Let's do a last example, slightly, little bit more tricky to it. Just because there's more things that we have to think of together. So first thing, I have to write the 9 as a 9 over 1. I want to know clearly which is numerator, which is denominator. The divide becomes a multiply. The negative does not change. It stays a negative, but then the reciprocal of that number. Okay, my rule says 9 times 3 is 27, but can you see I have a positive times a negative? Over 1 times 1, and that answer is just negative 27.